You have to know that there is a thing that you are probably doing right now that most people do, that is literally making you dumber every single day, and that over a long period of time will make you actually much more stupid than you are right now. Now, that thing is called fear, stress, worrying, negativity. And I probably, you probably think that you know why that is the case. You probably think that stressing, negativity, worrying, and fearing makes you more stupid because you end up making less optimal decisions. And while that is actually the case, that is actually not the reason why you become dumber over a long period of time. When you continue stressing about things, worrying about things, being negative, fearing things, right? And I'm sure that you will be amazed to know the true reason why that makes you actually dumber over the long period. Now, I probably guessed, and you don't want to get dumber in the long term, right? You don't want to get dumber every single day. And so in this video, we'll be sharing with you exactly why it is the case that fearing, stressing, negativity, worrying, all those negative, fearful emotions make you dumber in the long term. And then I will share with you a few tricks that I've seen on myself, that I've also heard from others that worked really well for me to actually become a more relaxed person, to eliminate stress, fear, and worrying and negativity. Now, you probably want to know what I'm talking about. Why are we getting basically dumber every single day when we are fearful? It's actually very simply because fear and stress, those states basically make our body and mind create some hormones and some molecules that are neurotoxic. Basically, those states may harm our brain in the long term. Now, obviously, stress is also helpful for us because there are two types of stress. You have to know this. There is eustress and distress. Eustress is basically good stress, challenges, right? Stress over short periods of time that put you in a challenging state and that challenge you and that obviously stress you a little bit, but make you actually improve over the long period of time, right? For example, going to the gym, that's obviously a stressful situation for your body and mind, right? Taking a cold shower, it's probably a stressful situation for you. Doing a challenge, running a marathon, all those things that are kind of like challenges, they're all stressful situations, but they are also quite short, right? A marathon, you cannot run a marathon for 20 days in a row. At least I'm not aware of that. And so this kind of short period of stress actually are very helpful for us. That is why they're called eustress. Now there is another type of stress. There is distress, which is basically fearing and stressing and worrying and being negative about things over a long period of time. That emits the same amount of negative hormones, actually not negative hormones, actually just stress hormones. But because those stress hormones are being released over a long period of time, they end up harming your brain. They end up making you dumber over the long period of time. Because I'll not go into very great detail because very honestly, I don't know the exact details about the molecules and exactly what happens and all the scientific details to explain why we're becoming dumber over the long period. But very simply, what I understood is that stress basically makes our brain shrink, and specifically the hippocampus and other parts of our brain, which basically makes us dumber over the long period of time. That's that's very simply what I understood, but I didn't come up with it. I actually read it in a book, a very interesting book, The Indoctrinated Brain. That is how it's called. I'm actually finished reading it right now, and if you want to understand more about what I'm just talking about, I highly recommend to go and check it out. I will put the Amazon link of it in the description down below. Anyways, so now you know that stressing and fearing and being negative and worrying about things over long periods of time is what is making us dumber every single day. That's not stress and challenges or stress. That is actually good stress. We need that. That actually makes us become smarter, right? But we don't want to stress about things over the long period, over the long term. So how do we do that? It's actually very simple. What I've seen is that there are 5 main steps that have helped me out to eliminate stress from my life. The first step was to eliminate all kinds of medias, all mass medias, because very simply, as we both know, they talk about negative things all the fucking time. That's not a coincidence. They talk about negative things and about negative events very simply because those things are the things that get the most attention. And so they want your attention because they want your money. They want you to watch the, all the ads and all those things so that they can make more money. And because of that, they basically feed us negative information that actually don't help us out in the long term. So what I did was basically eliminate all of those bad influences of medias that were harming my mental and physical health. So I don't watch the news anymore. I don't read the news anymore. I don't listen to the radio anymore. I don't scroll on Insta and watch all those reels about negative news anymore. And all of those things, basically. The second step was to eliminate other negative influences, which are negative people. Now, very often, people around us, especially if they are not positive people, are going to influence us. Everyone around us is influencing us. There is a saying which says that we are the average of our five best friends, and there is a truth behind of that. Very simply because we suck up what other people do and what other people think, right? And so if you're surrounded with negative people, fearful people all day long, you will suck that up. You will become that way, very simply. So what I did some time ago, actually 4 years ago, something like that, was that I just left my toxic friend group I had at that time of my life, and that was just an amazing choice, bro. Such an amazing choice. Now, third step is to start to ignore negative information. Because even if we eliminate medias, even if we cut off negative people from our life, we will still encounter somewhere, somehow, some negative information. But it is not a problem because negative information can only hook on us, can only touch us if we actually give it importance, if we actually let ourselves be influenced by it, if we actually decide that it is important for us. And therefore, it's actually very simply about realizing that negative information doesn't help you out. And therefore, just ignore it. When you come across it, when someone says something negative, just ignore it. Don't care. Don't care. Don't care. And it won't be able to touch you. Now, I know that this is kind of difficult. We have to be very, 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 very conscious to be able to ignore negative information. So there is another thing that you can do. The fourth step, which is basically a little game that I now play every single day, which is to react positively to negative information. If you cannot ignore a negative information, just see it as positive. Just choose to be happy that that thing happened. Let's say that I'm at school, I get a bad grade, and I should be unhappy, right? The normal script says that I should be there stressing about it, thinking, oh fuck, will be maybe blah blah blah, we have to do the next exam better, blah blah blah, blah 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 blah, all those negative thoughts, right? But what if I just chose to be happy, right? To just enjoy, to just tell myself, yeah, amazing, I got a bad grade, like amazing, amazing, right? I could just as well choose to do that. Now, I know that this sounds strange because we are used to react negatively to those kind of negative information, but we can just as well choose to to be positive. And I already made a video about it, so we'll link it in the description down below. So if you didn't really understand what I meant with reacting positively to negative information, you can go and check it out. And now we get to the fifth step, which is to just try to look for as much positivity as you can throughout the whole day. Doesn't matter where you are, just look for positive information because most of the time we just look for negativity. Now try to replace this habit with looking for positivity. So the 5 steps that I now follow are the following ones. I eliminated all media. I cut off basically negative people. Little middle finger, I'm just joking. I ignore negative information. If I cannot ignore it, I see it as positive. And I look for positivity wherever I can, all day long, right? Those are the 5 steps that help me out a lot. So I've seen that stressing less over things, being less fearful, being more calm and relaxed, helped me out a lot in life. And it happens to also give me another benefit, which is to make me not become dumber over the long period by stressing over things. So that's another benefit I get from it, but the other benefits are just crazy. You will see what a difference it does when you stop stressing about things, when you start taking control over it, and you actually realize that it's just useless to stress, to fear, to worry, to be negative. Just useless. Anyways, I really hope that this video helped you out. You have everything you need to implement this video in the description down below. So go and check it out. I wish you all the best and see you in the next one.